Yes, sir. And the new Richardson Hitchins put on a great performance to earn him that new IBF belt. Strap season is upon us. The 140 division now have a new champion, and his name is Richardson Hitchins. Now, before I get into this excellent fight and an excellent performance from Richardson Hitchins, we gotta talk about that scorecard.
Is this nigga serious?
That scorecard was interesting. And the first two had it right. I want to talk about that Wilson person. Now, I'm not going to misgender anybody because I don't know if that's man or female, but I'm going to just say they. But that person needs their boxing, that person needs to never not judge a boxing match ever again. You gave Richardson Hitchins no round in the second half when Richardson Hitchins had some of his best work in the second half. You mean to tell me let me get real close up for you. You mean to tell me Liam Perro dominated in the second half when Liam Perro was almost afraid to throw anything or to even get out of line, because he knew if he got out of line, he gonna run right into a right hand. You mean to tell me that Hitchins won no round in the second half? You're smoking, buddy. Don't ever judge a boxing match ever again. No rounds in the second half. None. Okay. But I digress. What a beautiful performance from Richardson Hitchins. Now, I do want to get into his performance because this will also be a great segue into one particular person that he called out at the end of the fight, which is Teofimo Lopez. So I was watching this fight. I was watching a bit of the fight before I recorded this, right? And one thing that stood out to me about Hitchins was a few things, right? One, his composure. For him to not get rattled at what Perro was doing, because if you look, after the first round was over, he was like chill, like I'm good, like, you know what I'm saying, like he was telling his corner like I got him. So for him to kind of keep his composure, I believe Hitchins took the first few rounds to really figure out what Perro wanted to do, because if you watch, Perro loved to kind of hop into his shots, right? Because again, his game plan was to kind of make the fight rough, make it a little bit dirty, get on the inside, and to work. So that was his game plan. His game plan was to really get on the inside and to get past his jab, right? Because Perro being a southpaw, and then of course Hitchins being a orthodox fighter, they would have to kind of not parry, but kind of like dance around with their lead hand or whatever. So I thought that was a bit of a challenge for Hitchins at first, but once he found it, it was tough for him. Once he found it, I seen Perro start to get a little bit reluctant. Because, I mean, I don't think Hitchins have too many knockouts, but one thing is for sure, though, Hitchins definitely has some pop. And what pop to me is respectable power. Like, it's not something that's going to, like, knock me out or even stagger me, right? But it's respectable, especially, like, how sharp he was throwing those right hands. And those right hands was very accurate, too. How sharp he was throwing it, how accurate he was throwing it. And then, of course, while he's throwing it, he got his balance. So he's placing his shots well. And when you're doing that, that's pop. That's respectable power. It kept Perro in check, because especially in that second half, if you watch the fight, Perro was very hesitant to like jump back in again, because Perro knew if he jumps in, that right hand is coming and it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna keep me in check. Now, I want to talk about him versus Teofimo. I think that is a real interesting matchup. And I'm going to explain why. I think Hitchins could definitely beat Teofimo. I'm going to tell you why. Teofimo doesn't do a really good job with having to initiate his offense. Right now, of course, he got a new trainer or whatever. Gotta respect that, right? But I've seen Teofimo, when he tried to initiate, he himself have a real bad issue with hopping into his shots. He does it as well. And if you do that against Hitchins, somebody who's already sharp, somebody who keeps a good balance, so he's already there to hit you. I think that could be a real. I think stylistically, I think it could be really difficult for Teofimo, because the thing about Hitchins, and I see why people call him boring, it's not the fact that he's boring, it's that he's disciplined. Hitchins is not going to give you too much. You know what I'm saying? He reminds me, and I'm not comparing him, but he reminds me of Bevel. Bevel, he's a 1-2 magnet. He gonna jab straight to the death. But the thing about it is, he's disciplined. He gonna hit you when he wanna hit you. He gonna engage when he wanna engage. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not gonna give you what you want when you want it. He's gonna operate on his own time. And then of course Bevel, he could change it up. He could go from 1-2, 1-2 to 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. He could change it up. And it's also the discipline. He's not gonna give you too much. And that is what makes him so hard to deal with. I see the same thing with Hitchins. Hitchins will 1-2 you to death. He can pick up the pace. He can change it up on you. But he's going to always remain disciplined. He's not going to get out of line. And I think that might be a problem for Teofimo, because a counter puncher, they operate on mistakes. They operate on timing. And if I'm not giving you what you want when you want it, that could be a real difficult night. So if Teofimo is waiting on Hitchins to throw a jab, because again, you might think all he have is a jab and a straight, like that shouldn't be too hard to counter, which is true. However, it's the timing of it, because Hitchins also feinted. So now he's keeping you guessing. Like, again, he has a way of breaking his timing. So Hitchins, he can jab straight you, and then next time he might feint the jab, and then next time he might throw a right hand. So it's constantly breaking timing. I think that by itself would give Teofimo a real hard time, especially if he can't capitalize on that and he can't properly time Hitchins. Yeah, I think Hitchins have a real good chance of beating him for sure. But who knows? If they make that fight, I will probably lean Hitchins. Well, I would lean T.O. because T.O. got the experience. But again, it's how would you handle fighting somebody who's going to also counter you too, or who's going to also be looking to counter you? You know what I'm saying? Like, that style, I don't know how T.O. would do in that style. But on that note, if you're new to the channel and you enjoy any of this content, make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and comment down below y'all thoughts and opinions about Hitchins' performance against Liam Pero. What are y'all thoughts about his performance? And also, how would y'all call the Teofimo Hitchins fight? Is it 50-50? Is it 60-40? Who do you think has the edge in that fight, and why? And if you are new, make sure you hit that red button that says subscribe and click that bell, and make sure that bell is turned on to all, so you don't miss out on any future uploads like this one. And as always, it's your boy Remy, and I love you guys. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.